June is Alzheimer's and Brain Awareness Month, and there's a good chance you or someone you love is impacted by Alzheimer's disease.
Yeah, new this morning, one local Alzheimer's Association volunteer shares the impact Alzheimer's has on her and her family. WGEM's Sydney Lyerly joins us live now with how the disease can impact lives. Sydney, good morning.
Good morning. I'm here outside the Illinois Veterans Home, where in September 20th, the Walk to End Alzheimer's will be hosted this year. The Alzheimer's Association says around 7 million Americans deal with Alzheimer's each and every day. And one local Alzheimer's Association volunteer leader tells me about her mother who was diagnosed with and passed away from Alzheimer's. She says that the disease arrived subtly and unexpectedly. She soon became her mother's caretaker, which completely changed her life and her understanding of the disease.
There is a hope at this point that there wasn't, say, 3 years ago. But as somebody, like I said, with dealing with early onset Alzheimer's, or just in the early stages, that there is help out there.
Fisher reminds you to take care of your brain and go to a doctor if any signs of Alzheimer's begin to appear. And coming up on June 28th, the Illinois extension of the Alzheimer's Association reminds you to wear purple in support of those struggling with Alzheimer's. Kyle and Natalie, back to you.
Cindy, thank you. You can find more information on the Walk to End Alzheimer's event in Quincy and how to register at WGEM.com.